This final speaker is Pat Gill. He's the founder and president of PRIM, and he will share some important words. And they look at the present and they look at the future. When he was 40 years old, a surgeon recommended taking out 1/3 of his stomach because of gastric bleed. But fortunately, he resisted, and he opted to be treated medically. And more than 20 years ago, through the excellent care of his friend and physician, Dr. Fred Huey, who is right here, his patients are here. You just stand up. Dr. Huey is one of a kind, and he has been a major supporter of PRIM. Many of the people here tonight are his patients, his staff. He recognizes that things need to change in healthcare, and he's been a driving force behind it to this point. And we hope to get to that turning point sometime within the near future. But he treated Pat Gill. They became great friends. And he now has a full intact stomach, and he's been prescription free for 10 years. And they were ready to cut into Pat. 74 years old, a retired, very successful businessman. He wrote this. I'm just adding a few words. We wrote it together. A strong advocate for integrative medicine, the driving force behind the development of PRIM, motivated not by concerns for his health, and this is what got me involved with this organization, motivated by the concerns for his children and his grandchildren. Because nothing's going to change quickly, but it's going to change, and it's going to take the people. And we know, many of us here tonight, and there's a growing number of people well aware that complementary and alternative medicine should be integrated to any vision for better healthcare in Ontario and across this country. Ladies and gentlemen, Pat Gill.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I'm happy to see so many people here tonight. It's very encouraging that you take time out of a busy life to show your interest and support for the work we are doing at PRIM. I'm glad to see many of our supporters in the audience. First of all, a huge thank you to Terence, Blair, Linda, Nancy, and Joanna for delivering some powerful statements about how our healthcare system is really only a sickness care system because it focuses mainly on treating symptoms and not healing people. The regulator of medical doctors in this province, the College of Physicians and Surgeons of Ontario, known as CPSO or the College, describes evidence-based medicine as the gold standard of medical practice. Well, it's obvious from the discussions this evening that evidence-based medicine is broken. The healthcare system you and I rely on for our medical help is infected with pharmaceutical fraud, bribery, and corruption. If the medical journals that doctors rely on for treatment decisions are filled with ghost-written articles in which negative or potentially deadly clinical trial results are deliberately concealed, then what is clearly needed is a policy change to a concept of an outcomes-based medicine where doctors use treatment options to heal people, to actually restore them to health, while making patient safety its highest priority. Now, these treatment options are already available in Section 5.1 of the Medicine Act of Ontario, otherwise known as the Quinter Amendment, and it's been law in Ontario since MPP Monty Quinter sponsored the bill's passage through Queen's Park in December of 2000. Yet, despite this law being in force for almost 14 years, it's never been enforced. And as with the discussions of this evening, it could be the same with Vanessa's law, together with Vanessa's law, when it passes the Senate and receives royal assent. Section 5.1 of the of the Medicine Act states specifically, no member shall be found guilty of professional misconduct or of incompetence under Section 5.1 or 5.2 of the Health Professions Procedural Code solely on the basis that he practices a therapy that is non-traditional or departs from the prevailing medical practice unless there is evidence that proves that the therapy poses a greater risk to the patient's health than the traditional or prevailing practice. Excuse me. In fact, Section 5.1 has been blatantly and unlawfully disregarded by the college in its targeting, harassment, and persecution of integrative medicine physicians that practice non-traditional but safe therapies to restore patients to regular health. This illegal behavior must be stopped, and I call on the media to help by investigating the college for its violation of the Medicine Act of Ontario, similar to what the Toronto Star has done recently with its outstanding investigation of prescription drug safety at Health Canada. PRIM is an incorporated, not-for-profit, human rights advocacy organization founded to protect freedom of choice in healthcare. Included in PRIM's mandate are advocating for patients' right to informed choice about treatment options, and 2, fostering a safe environment for collaboration and innovation to medical treatments. PRIM seeks to be the people's voice, to do whatever is required to support laws that improve health care. In fact, we are seriously contemplating a potential lawsuit against the college for breaking the law. But we can't do it without your support. It's your health, it's your choice. We need your voice. So, if you haven't done this already, register on our website at primcanada.org and join us as we build a people's movement for better health care in Ontario and across Canada. And while you're at it, please tell your friends about us. Now, in closing, I'd like to show our 60-second public service announcement, which we hope will be aired shortly in Canadian television stations. And as David pointed out, after the video, please visit the PRIM exhibit and talk with our panelists in the foyer to the door through the door to my left. Once again, thank you, Terence, Blair, Linda, Nancy, and Joanna, and of course, all of you for coming out tonight. Can you bring on the video, please?
When it comes to healthcare, I want options.
I want to have a choice.
We seem to have lost that ability to put all those fundamentals together.
Healthcare, you're supposed to be my doctor. You're supposed to be looking out for me.
It changed my life.
It feels good, actually. When I see it, it reminds me of where I was, and I'm always hopeful I'll never go back there.
This is me trying to walk to the bus stop because I couldn't walk 20 minutes to work. And now...